Okay, so in today's video, we're going to show you how to reset your HP Color LaserJet 4700 and CP4005 transfer units. So these units will go for a long time before they actually need to be replaced. Generally, you only need to replace them if they get a hole in this transfer medium or the transfer roller on the unit starts to go bad. But a lot of times these generally can be cleaned, and I'll do a video on how to clean them as well. But generally what you want to do as you pull it out, this toner can kind of get gunked up in there. This one's actually really clean, but you essentially just want to blow out all the excessive toner. But what we're going to do is replace this fuse that is on these machines, and all you're going to need this fuse. And what kind of fuse is that, Jim?
It's 1 amp. I mean, no, 1/8 amp.
1/8 amp fuse. Generally, you can get them from where? Any electronics store?
Yeah. Radio
Shack, maybe?
No,
maybe not the Radio Shack, but any good local electronics like distribution place would have them.
Right.
And all you're going to need is a couple screwdrivers and a needle nose. So go ahead. So on the side, you're going to see there's a big chunky unit here that has 2 screws, one at the bottom there, what he's taking off now. And then the one he took off at the top, that's over in that other area. But so that whole unit just slides off as basically a guard. So then you have the exposed side here, and this little fuse right here, if you want to just point your screwdriver to it, that's what blows once you put it in, and then it resets the counter inside the machine. So what you want to do is just pry that fuse out of there. Like so. And if you want, are you going to pop those things off or just leave them?
I'm going to try and separate it out a little bit with this screwdriver.
So if you take a small flathead, you can kind of lift up these little
clips, or
these little, like they're kind of like E-clips, but they're not at all like E-clips. They're just like this little clip that keeps the connection in there. So you don't have to pry them all the way off.
They're like a slip nut. It's a slip washer, actually, I think.
Okay. And you just get them up a little bit so you can...
Yeah, and the key is you want the wire here in these little grooves.
Let me get in there on those grooves. So there are these little grooves. Let me get that refocused. This is in a really small area. So if you see, point to them again. That groove right there is where you're going to want those wires to slide into as guides, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And you can take the old fuse. This is helpful. Straighten it out. And try and cut it about the same length. That's what I do anyway. If you cut it too short, you're in trouble. Here's the hard part. Getting it back in there. So you push it in there, get that down like that.
Basically, you want them behind those
Right.
those washer things.
Like I had it.
So it's not really hard, it's just working with tedious
Right.
little, so it may take you a couple times, but it's better than, how much does that fuse cost?
Not very much. Like
Versus a $200,
fuse is like $1.50.
yeah. It's hard to get the angle on the photo here, or the shot, but you kind of get the idea of what he's trying to do there. Basically, you just need those wires to go back behind those lock washer things.
I'm gonna get my finger over here. Yeah, that one's in. As long as it's making good contact in here, that's what's important. Now this one. This one's always harder for some reason. Sometimes you have to push it down inside there to get a
Good contact.
yeah. There. Went right.
I think you need to get it down a little bit more. So this is, like I said, this is the hardest part, is just getting that wire in there and get it on the connection. So I'm not cutting this video at all. I want to see people. This is like a real world way to do this. It's not the easiest thing to do. Just with dealing with these little wires and getting them in there just right.
On this one, it's best to go underneath, I guess.
So still keeping in that channel. There you go. So one over the top, one underneath, either which way you go.
Yep, and then just take your little screwdriver and push that back in there like that. That's it.
And there it is. So it's a little haggling. Might take you a few minutes to do it, but it's that's all it is. So when this goes back in, so go ahead and put that side cover on.
There's a little
Tab there.
that goes in this hole here.
Yeah. Go take that out one more time. Yeah.
Goes right there like that.
Yep.
And then this thing should.
There. So it's just a couple plastic clips you gotta kind of push in there. That's the first screw. And there's the second screw. And that's basically it. So what you want to do when you do this reset is what?
Turn the machine off first.
Turn the machine off first.
Pull the old belt out.
Pull the old belt out.
Put the new one in. Close it all up, and then turn the machine back on.
But in reality, they're just going to take their old belt out, put the fuse in, power it off,
Oh,
and then put their old belt in. So if they already have one of these, and we have to make the caveat of saying too that not all of these are resettable. So when you pull that off and you have the fuse, it's resettable.
right.
If you open it up and what? There's no fuse there?
Right.
then it can't be reset, and we don't really know why that is. Some of them have it, some of them don't.
Right.
So if you have one that can be reset, that's kind of the process you just did right there, was pull that side cover off, replace that fuse, make sure the machine is powered off, replace the belt, and then power it up, and it will do a full reset. Then you just print your supply status page off, and it should read as 100%.
Yep.
And that's it. So this is for the HP LaserJet Color LaserJet 4700 and CP4005.